recently. Sharon Momanyi, KTN News.
And still on the issue of the cost of living, more and more farmers in breadbasket farming areas are switching from planting the staple maize to horticulture in search of better returns. This week's episode of Next Frontier in Agriculture, Philip Keitany examines how decades of high input costs, low returns and distortion of the maize market through poor implementation of policy and conflicts of interest have forced farmers to seek refuge in other crops.
A new farming wave is sweeping through Trans Nzoia County, currently described as the country's breadbasket. The county is home to some of the largest producers of maize and other cereals in the country. But now, even that is slowly changing as farmers reduce the amount of land under maize and start to embrace other crops with better returns. In this case, French beans for export. Phyllis Munyangi and Paul Nganga are two of the farmers who have already made the switch from maize to French beans, and for them, there is no looking back.
Nimeona ukulima wa French beans ni mzuri kuliko mahindi. Sababu mahindi unaongojea mwaka mzima na French beans tunapata pesa kwa wiki moja. Na ukulima yake ni miezi 2.
According to Phyllis and Nganga, with continued uncertainty over rains due to climate change, French beans are emerging as the perfect crop. They grow fast and do well during the short rainy season and can be picked just 2 months after planting.
Mahindi ilikuwa nikilima hii eka moja napata around 40,000, lakini wakati ile nilianza kulima hizi French beans eka moja hiyo inaleta almost 200,000.
The farmers are making this change with the help of the United States Agency for International Development under its development arm, the Kenya Agricultural Value Chain Enterprises KEVS, whose aim is to help increase the productivity and incomes of smallholder farmers.
Advantages of this area: no pest pressure like the Mount Kenya region, excellent rotational crop which is maize. This one fixes nitrogen, is a legume. They are completely different with maize. Its roots are taproot, the maize is fibrous, very excellent for rotation. A
1-acre plot yields 4 tons of French beans at an average selling price of 40 shillings a kilo. With this, farmers expect to earn over 240,000 shillings at the end of the harvest period. The optimum temperature range for growing French beans is between 20 and 25 degrees Celsius and an altitude range of 1,000 to 2,000 meters above sea level.
Expanding production of horticultural crops in non-traditional growing areas fits well in our objective as KEVS of the theory of change, where we are encouraging farmers to get into high value crops.
Planting starts at the onset of rains. With irrigation, French beans can grow all year round, but the main export season is from October to May. Sowing should be done such that most of the crop is ready between October to mid-December and from mid-January to end of May. Trans Nzoia County has always been the food basket of the country, with the maize crop being the main crop being grown here. But in the recent past, most of these farmers have been moving away from the maize to high-valued crops like the French beans, which they say spend less time in the farm and rakes in more money than the maize, putting the country's food security at risk.